First one.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Passive Tree Podcast, a podcast dedicated to talking about life, Path of Exile 2, and everything in between. Today, on episode 24, I'm joined by a fellow PoE2 streamer and the man behind the fabled THC Private League. It's none other than Timmy P. Welcome on, and how are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Quite the intro.
Dude, you deserve such an epic intro, man. You are a beloved person in the PoE2 space, especially in the hardcore space. And I got to tell you, man, dude, THC League, it's always a good time. I hopped in their last league like a week before 0.2 was over. I ended up meeting you from it, even though like it was your league. I didn't like know of you, and I met all these like dope people and shit. So yeah, thank you so much for putting that on, man.
Yeah, I've met a whole bunch of people too. Probably more in 0.3 than I have in 0.2. It populated faster, you know. Yeah, I've met all kinds of. I don't want to name anybody because there's like 50 people or something, and I'm gonna miss somebody. I'm gonna be like, what about me? Type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's sick to see how much it's actually like grown from like Dawn of the Hunt to like this league. And I can only imagine like you're gonna keep doing it, right? And it's just gonna keep getting bigger too. It's pretty sick. Like, I think everyone loves it, right?
Yeah, it was a happy accident, man. I started it on May 15th of .2 with just 10 slots. Like there's some people in chat that were like, "Hey, you gonna start a private league?" I'm like, "Is that a thing?" And they're like, "Yeah, it starts tonight or whatever." So I bought 10 days, 10 slots, and it filled up. And then a few more people like, "Hey, dude, that's sick. I want to join." And it was 10 slots, 10 slots, 10 slots, and we did that 26 times to achieve 260 players in the league, which is pretty
Dang.
crazy.
And that was
Yeah,
260 players this league or last league?
last league
Okay.
we have like 280 already in 17 days.
Yeah.
The last one was 90 days. It was the entirety of .3 pretty much.
Okay. And do you want to talk a little
Or
bit
point
about
two,
what like
sorry.
inspired you to just like start it? Was it kind of just like a thing you started on a whim, just super like, yeah?
Yeah, straight up whim, bro. Straight up whim. Like there was a dude, Sadir King, and I haven't seen him since. He blasted the #1 in the league, died, and we haven't seen him since. And now we're all just kicking it in the league still.
Damn, what happened to him, bro?
It's pretty
You
sick.
can't just hit rank 1
I
in
don't know.
Timmy League and then just fall off.
I think he was practice. It was right when DM was doing his first league for PoE2. So I think he was using our private league as a fresh start. Which whatever, dude. The league's there for however people want to play it. And Mono, one of the VIPs on my end, he mentioned before that seems to be the best thing in his opinion from the league is softcore players giving hardcore and a chance for the first time, you know. It's like it's more accessible and maybe I don't really know why. You know, there's a lot of streamers that you can go watch and see all of our deaths and all of our death clips. So maybe it just seems more accessible. You can see everybody progressing and dying alongside of you. You know, you become part of the community, I suppose.
Definitely. I love that. I love it. It kind of feels a little bit more like, I don't know if like intimate is the right word, but it definitely more like of a personal experience, or you're playing the
Yeah,
ladder, or you're playing the game and you're looking at the ladder. And as you like get, if you're in a few of these people's communities, you kind of get to know who you're playing with and who you're kind of like beating. And then you start to form these like little rivalries. I'm always trying to, beat Lapav or something like that. And Lapav's trying to,
exactly.
beat
Yeah,
me or something like that. And so, yeah, that's kind of my
yeah.
favorite thing about it is like, it's much more like personal experience with like the community and shit like that. So I wanted to ask you like,
Mhm.
what's maybe your like favorite thing about like THC League now that you've done it a couple times?
Meeting all the new streamers and like there's a big mesh of our communities coming together, which helps everybody, you know. The community gets to meet new people to watch, and you kind of get and if you click the THC League tag on the Twitch that a lot of the streamers have, I was asking people to do it. If you click that, you can go see all the streamers that are live streaming in the league. And I just like all that, like the networking of it, I suppose, you know. I'm not really the most competitive guy, so the ladder isn't a huge feature, but that's nice too to be able to kind of see where you stand amongst your peers, of course, is a little bit of something, you know, that always comes along with it, whether you want to admit it or not, you know?
For sure. Yeah, and it's always like, oh, when someone dies and they're like everybody who's dying is like people and they're streamers and stuff like that too.
Mhm.
So it's like kind of a big thing when you die in Timmy League. Like everyone kind of
I
piles
genuinely
in.
feel bad, dude, when that shit happens. Like there'll be a homie talking in chat, and 5 seconds later, I just see him die in the league. I'm like, dude, you were just talking to me, bro. No, like
Yeah.
fucking, like we just actually lost him. Yeah,
And because it's a smaller league, it's like once you get past a certain threshold, it's like, you know how like when you die in like a global ladder, like unless you're top 50, no one knows you died, and you have to be like level like 98 for that to happen. But in Timmy League, because there's a lot less people, like you're basically top 50
yeah,
after you get to like whatever it is. I don't know what it is currently, but level 80 something
yeah. I want
maybe.
to look at it
Yeah.
actually.
So
Let's
it's a
have a
lot
look.
easier to get your name popping up there if you want to, have people come into your chat and stuff like that too, which is always super cool.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ladder aspect of it surprised me. And when we first started the league, there was no top 100 ladder. You could only see the top 10. Like the whatever you did / ladder in the game, it showed you the same thing on the website. So, um, I don't know, maybe a month into the point two, the THC League one, iteration one, about I don't know, a month into that, they added that on the website to where you can see the top 100 players, so we can kind of track that. But to answer your question, 79, 80 to be top 50.
Yeah, which I feel like is super obtainable if you just like, want to hop in there, you could probably do that. And I like what you said, how it's a less like I don't know. I'm not sure if sweaty's the right word, but it just feels more of like a nice place to just jump in, especially for softcore players if they want to like try hardcore for the first time. I know that like a lot of our homies, like mutual homies, kind of did the whole softcore thing, burnt themselves out on like Trade League in like a week or two, and they were like excited
Yeah.
as hell to just like get a fresh start in Timmy League. So yeah, it's a nice change for sure.
Yeah, and it's like a little bit of a blend between hardcore SSF and hardcore trade, and it's like pseudo trade because I think the last time I checked, there were 630 items on our trade league, which was actually kind of surprising, and at reasonable offers as well. But there's a lot of guys like myself or you that play SSF, and then it just makes it more accessible for somebody that might want to try hardcore because there's homies. I mean, I'll give anybody anything. There was somebody who was asking for a fizz essence in chat earlier. I went to go see if I had one. I didn't, unfortunately, but so that could make it a little bit easier because it's kind of like you're on SSF, but when you really need something, maybe you can ask for a little help, maybe even a help with a boss kill. I don't know if there's anything like that going on, but that'd be pretty neat. Some there was ascendancy carries going on. Bots was doing ascendancy carries in the league. So yeah, amongst 280 people, there's some pretty like exciting things that happen in point two. Evil Jedi got a Temporalis. He got the relic to drop and then practiced for 3 weeks to do the run, completed it, got his Temporalis and got first place in the league, killed everything but Arbiter 4 in the whole game. And then this league, Wapple had got a mirror to drop. So it is the game that we're used to and everything, but it's just a concentrated version of it, just like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. It's something
Mhm.
that I hold like pretty special to me. And it's tough because this league, I feel like it kind of dropped a little bit earlier because of I think out of the excitement of from last league, like Dawn of the Hunt, it was like, yo, everyone
Yeah.
had so much fun in Timmy's league that like after 0.3 came out, everyone was like, yo, when's Timmy's league happening? Like we're like 5 days into like 0.3 and people are like, yo, when's Timmy's league going down? Yeah, so I can't wait to go back and play. I have like a chronomancer that I'm working on right now and in Timmy's. I've been playing it off stream so I can like have something to show people when I like hop back in. But yeah, I'm excited to hop
Right.
in too.
Yeah. Everybody's seen all the acts in early game 1,000 times. So I do that too. I'll level a character offline a little bit and just kind of start up in like late act 3 or act 4 to where it's kind of new content still for people to watch.
For sure.
Not everybody's burned out on act 4 at all. I still enjoy act 4. Act 4 is pretty sick, scary. And I play the game a little conservative. So I save a lot of that shit till the bitter end when I could just shit on it real quick.
Who's the scariest like few bosses for you in the game right now? Maybe you could just list off a couple of your territory.
Yama
Yeah.
in Act 4, it became Yama. I killed him like 2 or 3 times with no problem, and then he kind of bugged out on me. It was just a weird mashup of his abilities, and I died. And ever since then, I'm like, fuck that guy. It's the monkeys, really. Stinkfist or Silver Fist, I call him. Silver Fist. I mean, of course, dude. Skull Crusher and maps. But yeah, dude, it's the monkeys. But he killed me once, and ever since then, I just wait. I wait till I could just go in and destroy him. He doesn't even get to do his specter phase or whatever you want to call it. And same with Silverfist. I wait till I get my hammer of the gods, and then I go take care of Silverfist and all that stuff. I just drop a hammer on him real quick, and he's done.
Fair
Or
enough.
totem. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
no,
grenade totems are really cool too.
that's sick. I haven't actually tried the grenade totems yet, but I'm of the opinion, and I talk about this all the time, of like, if you guys want to skip bosses, it's totally fine in hardcore. Like, save yourself the trip back to the beach. You can obviously go in and fight them and have like the most exhilarating fight of your life. But like at the same time, are those 2 points worth the 3 to 4 hours that you just spent getting there? It's tough to say. It's tough to say. I know some people feel a certain way. I'm of the opinion of like,
Well,
you can do it if you
well,
want.
yeah, right. You could do it if you want, and all the exhilarating stuff comes in maps anyway. So you're just kind of prolonging the real exhilarating stuff. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, play however you guys want to. Like, I will say, if you fight every single boss at like the level requirement that you have, like, you get into the jungle ruins at level 31 and you fight the monkey, it will be a fucking, like, you will be clenched up, like, waiting. That area just gives me, PTSD, man. But yeah, dude. So the monkeys, though, like, Yama got me. He was the first person first boss that killed me in 0.3 with that, like, specter phase or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, when I
Hmm.
saw that like mechanic, I wasn't like mad that I died to it. I was just impressed that like GGG is implementing like boss mechanics like that in the campaign. Like, it's really cool to see that. And it just made me like optimistic for like bosses that are gonna be dropping in like Act 5 and 6 as well. You know what I mean?
Right. Don't get me wrong, dude. It's cool. It just sucked dying to it, dude. It was buggy, man. Like I got all the like the his like aberrations or whatever you want to call it off the pillars, and there was like that big chaos dot, Eye of Hinakora ability or whatever, just sitting on the
Mhm.
ground, and it never went away. And when he went to Spectre phase, the Spectre I had to run to ran and stood right on that, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I paused because was like the timing seemed off. It felt like it was taking too long, and I paused. And as soon as I paused, my guy's just like just fucking
Oh
dies.
no.
I'm like, well, what the fuck, dude? So yeah, it's the fight's cool. Maybe it just needs like worked out a little bit because I paused out of it in maps. Because dude, he goes to do that Spectre phase. There's a fresh Eye of Hinakora. It hadn't even blew up yet, and then there was a monkey on every pillar, and he goes to the Spectre phase. And I just paused and left, and you can just pause and leave, and then control click, and then just join back to your hideout, enter the portal, and run back to the boss, and he's just in there jerking it. Really, you can just go in there and just restart the fight. You can even leave with him having a little bit of health or whatever and dip out and come back and kill him. I did that on Benedictus and maps and Yama.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, you never mentioned
mhm.
Asmati, or as Barricade likes to call him, Basmati Rice. I know a lot of people are
Yeah,
getting
I
farmed by
didn't.
him too. How are you feeling about
Yeah, I
him these
didn't
days?
mention him. Yeah, he's a dick. You're right. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
But I've gotten more comfortable with him too. I do him second because before I was kind of intimidated by him. So I do an interlude one, then three, then two. Now I just do them in order. And I'm actually thinking about going to fight him first. If you're strong enough, that might be the strat, you know. But people have been dying to the blood twins too. So dude, I don't know. The interludes are tough, but again, really cool. Viper 2.0 gives me a problem if I can't just kill her right away. Um, or even if like the pin tactician, you're able to just kind of pin her, then stun her, and maybe fight her a little bit. Then she's pinned again, then she's dead. So that kind of works to kind of CC her until she dies. But just the lightning arrow, my lightning arrow invoker was tough to get past her because I was just kind of waiting, and she's dodgy. She's not sitting in the lightning rods and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But at the end of the
Mhm.
day, like, kind of it was just cool to see like these different mechanics and bosses And yeah, I'm just stoked to see what they do in like Act 5 and Act 6 because I'm all for like as long as they don't have too many yapping and invulnerability phases to have these like cool mechanics happening in the boss fights. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's exciting, bro. It's like one of my favorite parts about playing through the campaign is these like epic boss fights, these epic moments.
hmm
But yeah, what
Shout out Tavakai
oh
for
yeah,
fucking
dude. He's
yapping.
just always yapping, man. Go. That guy needs to
Uh,
shut it up a little bit. Let's get it going. But yo, I wanted to ask you a couple like kind of lore questions. Get some lore about Timmy P for the viewers and for myself as well, since we haven't had a chance to like kind of sit down and hang out and stuff. So I want to ask you,
yeah.
just like when did you start gaming and what were you playing on when you started?
I was like 4 years old playing uh Duck Hunt and the first Mario game. I remember getting stuck. Like I was just like, just face, just face tanking a freaking one of those green pipes that I couldn't jump over. And I remember my dad helping me like jump over it and stuff. But yeah, that's my first gaming memory ever is the original Mario Brothers, and Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt was lit.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty
Nintendo
cool.
Entertainment System. What an epic console, bro.
hmm
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Were there any other like consoles that you can remember like playing on as a kid? And when did you make like the jump from like console to like PC gaming?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the original PlayStation was huge, dude. Freaking the Director's Cut, Resident Evil Director's Cut, I played a lot of, and then Resident Evil 2. I used to love those games. And then like Metal Gear Solid, that for the first one of those came out. So PlayStation, I fell in love. Like, I mean, my mom, she worked a lot and stuff, so she like the video games, our consoles were kind of like a pseudo babysitter in a way. So I spent a lot of time gaming when I was younger.
Hmm.
But then in the Nintendo 64, I found a loving fondness for FPS games with GoldenEye, of course.
Yes, dude.
So I mean, shitloads of GoldenEye and just all the 64 classics and racing games and sports games. I've always liked sports games, Madden and fighting games. Play the PlayStation 1. I played a lot of like the first Tekken and Battle Arena Toshiden, if anybody even knows what that is. But yeah, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. We always had the new console. Like I said, my mom worked a lot. We weren't wealthy by any means, but we always had the new console when Christmas came out. And my mom knew that it was endless hours of us being occupied and out of trouble. So,
It was a good investment on her
but
behalf. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, just probably like most gamer homies pushing 40, just the Genesis, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, Super Nintendo, and then I stopped at PlayStation 2 and then I started playing on Xbox. And but I was huge on Rainbow Six, and when and I started getting really into Rainbow Six, and I started seeing that like the PC community was the meta. So I had a crappy PC that I used just as a streaming device, essentially to capture my Xbox and capture card. And I started playing on that, and it was horrible, dude. It was like 29 frames if I was lucky. And then I invested in just like a normal, at the time, like $1,100 computer. I think I had like a 1070 in it or something like that. And then I just started playing Rainbow on PC. So that was my first, and that was my first PC game was Rainbow. And when the hell, I don't know, probably like 8 or 9 years, about 9 years ago. Say 2016. I started actually gaming on PC.
Okay. So like
Well,
relatively early
FPS
on,
games.
you know what I mean? Like you played a lot of console for a while and
hmm
then it took you kind of a little bit to make like the transition into like PC gaming, which is kind of unique actually. Like I think that, the more people I interview, the more I'm kind of fascinated by everybody's stories. And some people start like they don't even play console first. They're on their dad or their mom's lap playing PC when they're like 3 years old, like Talkative Try was when he
Yeah.
like learned about gaming. Like he never
hmm
even played console. And then some people like yourself are like late bloomers to the PC genre. But the crazy thing is, we all end up converging into Path of Exile 2 at one point, which is
Yeah.
super
Well,
cool.
Diablo 2, I played Diablo 2 on PlayStation 1 as well. That was my first ARPG. So, but yeah, dude, I'm pre-internet. Like I remember my first, he got, Marcus got internet, and we'd go over there and it's just everything took forever. It's dial-up internet.
Yep.
So, Like it was just, and being a little bit, I'm not trying to talk about it too much, but yeah, being a little bit poor, PC was always a massive investment. And then I also had like not very tech savvy parents, so there was no computer accessibility in the house. So I mean, I'd go to the library for stuff. I'd go to the library, go to Cheat Code Central, ccc.com, and get all the cheat codes for my games and
Love it.
stuff. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just it was a different era. Having a computer wasn't the norm. Neither was a cell phone. I had a pager when I was a kid, so it's just so my mom could be like dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like I had the fancy one that you could get like text on. So it's just a different era, is all. Yeah, but PC, it's the gaming on PC is it's the natural evolution of a true gamer. Like that's my opinion on it. I mean, I have my Xbox, but I think it's kind of what Microsoft wanted out of the Xbox when it first came out. It's kind of like an entertainment thing. It's like a Roku box now. you know so and that's what they wanted from the Xbox when it came out. It's going to be a whole house entertainment system. Well, yeah, it is, but I don't play games on it anymore. So
Yeah, it's funny how
they
like
did
it
that
went
to the
from gaming console to the way that they like pushed them more was like, oh, but you can watch Blu-rays. Like I remember, I think it was like PlayStation 4. It was like it was the cheapest way to watch, like get a Blu-ray player was like buy a PS4 and you could play movies and watch Netflix and all this stuff. They kept adding
right.
more and more and more into them, and it wasn't just like a place to
Mhm.
play games. It was like you can do everything now. Like you can, there was like a webcam for like your Xbox 360, and you could do like motion, you could do video chat and stuff like that. It was kind of
It was
crazy.
always hella janky though.
Yeah.
It was super none of that shit ever worked, right? Like the
Yeah.
Connect and stuff that shit was always terrible. Like doing the face captures for your sports games, you always I don't know, it looked like you were missing a chromosome or a couple or something, dude. The image that
It was
always came
hella
out
jank.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was twisted, dude.
But they tried. I think a lot of companies like Microsoft and Sony saw kind of what Nintendo did, because Nintendo, I don't know if you ever like messed around with Game Boys as a kid, but like, dude, for the Game
Oh
Boy,
yeah.
they had like a camera that you could like take pictures with, and it was like a thing that you like
Hmm,
plugged in to the game slot, and then it had like a little camera, and like that was like so ahead of its time, dude. And then like, I think
for sure.
Microsoft and Sony kind of saw shit like, what Nintendo was doing and kind of implemented shit like that in their stuff. But it was always like Nintendo did it first, and then it like, Microsoft and Sony did it, and it was always kind of weird when they did it because it was like, oh, Nintendo's done this already and it's better. But
Yeah,
yeah.
the Game Boy I had was about this big. I had
Yes.
this I had like a flip down lens, like magnifying glass, playing some Skate or Die on that shit or some Batman.
Yes,
Yeah, I played
dude.
Game Boy for sure.
Yeah, I
Hmm
had the attachment. We sound like just a bunch of old fucks at this point, but it's fine. Like I had the attachment where it was like a flashlight. You know how people read with like a reading light? I had that for my
Exactly,
Game
dude.
Boy, dude. It was
Yeah.
like before the
hmm
screen was LED. It was like, we had the
Yeah.
light for it and
Because
shit.
I had no backlight. It was just it was a just like green square with like black text on it. And it was really hard to see in certain situations for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had the
exactly.
same thing. It was the light and a magnifying glass in one. I was balling.
That is. So I gotta ask you, when did you start like streaming, and what game were you playing that like got you inspired to like put yourself out there on the internet with games?
I was playing Destiny 1, and my first streamer I didn't even know what Twitch was. Like I saw this purple square application on my Xbox One that I had just gotten. Like I still had my 360 hooked up. I had GTA 5 on 360 and the Xbox One. That's how long that game's been fucking out. But anyway, so I see the purple square and I click on it and I'm like, oh shit, this game, what is this new Destiny game or whatever? And King Gathalion is the first streamer I ever followed. So yeah, I wound up just doing a stream on my Connect one night. My first follow ever, his name was Rebenja. I don't remember if I don't remember having numbers or not in it, but yeah. So Destiny 1, May 19th, 2015. So I just had my 10-year anniversary. So it was just a little shitty Connect stream. I just threw it out there one day. I think so the buddy in my party could like watch. That's why I started the stream that day. And then I just watched more Twitch. I'm a CNC machinist. I was just working as a machinist and watching more Twitch and watching more Twitch. I'm like, man, I feel like I could do this. I'm pretty good at games, and I've always had the gift of gab, and I thought it might be cool. And I got my chick to get on board with buying. I bought a $900 computer from Best Buy. It had like a 970 graphics card in it or some shit. And my buddy Chad, he's a computer engineer. He's like, I've never seen somebody like so driven when they want to figure something out. Because I was awake for 40 hours straight to figure out my computer, to figure out how I'm capturing all this, watching YouTube videos, getting everything set up. I went from a Connect stream and a few months later to having a green screen set up, like capturing my console and stuff. So I just started playing Destiny 1 and helping people with raids. I had a pretty strong raid crew, and people were just coming in. We'd help people with raids, and I had to get a queue system going because it kind of started popping off. And then 2 years into streaming, May 19th, 2017, they introduced the affiliate program, and I got that right away. So that was cool. And I could show my chick, like, look, I'm actually like affiliate. We're making money now and shit. So that was pretty cool. It wasn't much money, obviously, but she didn't even know that. It just let me play games more, you know. But I'm getting raided right now, I think.
Oh, hell yeah.
Getting raided.
Yo, shout
Thanks
out
for
to
the raid, Zeeks.
Yo, shout out to the Raiders. Welcome in. Yo, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like when you started,
Yeah.
it sounds like there was a bit of like secret sauce that was like, hitting the right spot for you in terms of streaming. Like you were kind of like, oh, like
Mhm.
there's something special about this. Could you like put into words like what about streaming when you started kind of made you feel like it had sort of that secret sauce that made you feel passionate about it 10 years later?
I've always gotten a kick out of people watching me play games for some reason. Like my buddies would come over and just be like, God damn, you're beating that dude's ass, like playing UFC or whatever. And again, I've always had the gift of gab and just kind of wanted my stuff recorded. Like I don't know, YouTube just didn't really appeal to me. I'm not like a 360 no scope montage guy, and that's kind of what it was 10 years ago
Yep.
as far as like gaming content goes, you know what I mean? So it just hit all the sweet spots for me, and seeing, and I mean obviously seeing that there was people out there doing it for a living too was motivation to give it a shot, you know what I mean? Because you don't know when you're, and especially 10 years ago, this was all brand new to me. I just explained how I even discovered Twitch, you know. So I didn't know, like, but it's a fucking pain in the ass to try to earn any money on here. You know what I mean? Luckily, I like it, so I keep doing it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's not easy. I mean, the younger homies like you that do YouTube and TikTok, that's where it's at to get yourself growing for sure. I'm just a live content guy. I got a little bullshit YouTube that I throw some stuff on every now and then. But yeah, that's um yeah, and just being maybe at the time I thought I was a pretty good player, like above average player. So maybe somebody might want to see it too. And then eventually I wound up uh, getting into Rainbow Six and like playing casual and playing hostage and secure area and all the game modes, playing casual and learning the game. And then working my way all the way up. That was my main game. I stopped playing Destiny. Working my way all the way up to Diamond and kind of brushing elbows with pro players. There's a mod and a sub on my channel, Laxing. He's the commentator for the Rainbow Six Pro League now. I've got Rams and all kinds of pro players. So I went from, in me going from that to bomb only ranked diamond play, and it was kind of cool to have like video evidence of me doing that. So I grew with Rainbow Six, and that's where 3,000 of my followers came from, was Rainbow Six, really. And now I quit streaming. My mom was sick, she passed away, and watching like Nug Run and a couple other homies kind of inspired me to come back to streaming in March. And I was playing Path of Exile while she was sick, and now I'm here. And that's kind of my streaming story, bro.
Damn, dude. Yo, thank you for sharing that, bro.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to hear that you've been streaming for 10 years. I didn't know that. And like to hear your journey of like you're an OG streamer. Like it might be kind of crazy to say, but like you've been doing it for a hot minute. And yeah, it's cool to see, your progress, the games you've played, how it's kind of helped you along your way. And I kind of feel like you're like a natural at it because every time I go into your stream, you're just like, it's just such a chill vibe. It's so cool to just go in there and hang out. You always got good tunes in there, good chill vibes. And so yeah, man,
Thanks,
you do a
man.
great job, bro. I love it.
Well, I try to be the same person whether I'm hanging out with my family or I'm at work or I'm on my stream. At work, sometimes you need to conduct yourself a little bit more professionally, but for the most part, I'd say I'm just myself, dude. I think that's why I started streaming. I just thought I might be all right at it. So, and the Path of Exile community is amazing. And coming back in March, dude, if I just sat there at one viewer way at the bottom of the like category or whatever, I would have struggled, I'm sure, to try to get back to it. But I probably like 8 to 10 real good homies that were always here every time I fired up a stream, and that just moves you up the list. So um, I'm just as responsible for starting a stream as they are for keeping it going. Over 10 years.
Dude, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And I think you're absolutely right. Like, speaking of secret sauce, Timmy, there's something about the PoE2 and Path of Exile community that has like a secret sauce to it. I don't know what it is. And like I just started streaming in February, and this game is the only game I've ever streamed. Like I've only ever streamed like Path of Exile 2. But like the
Mhm.
community is like awesome. Like there's obviously bad apples and toxic people
Amazing.
in every community, but like, dude, the
Yeah.
the win rate for the community is like incredibly, incredibly high. And I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think it is about like Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2 that like kind of fosters this like secret sauce, awesome community?
Um, no PvP was probably huge. Uh, it's like there's not really a competitive aspect other than just competing against your peers. Like it's almost like I don't know, it's just you're racing. A race is always in more good spirits than a fight. You know what I mean? So like I think that's a big part of it. It's a little bit more of a complicated game that takes more thought and consideration, which kind of brings a little bit more mature individuals to it as opposed to just fucking muscle for like fast twitch muscle quick flick 360 nose like I mentioned earlier. You know what I mean? Like it just it brings a different crowd, I would say. It's like I have a feeling if you went and played a flight simulator in that community, it wouldn't be very toxic. It just brings a different crowd, a more mature crowd, I would say.
Imagine if it was the most toxic community ever. You're streaming Flight Simulator and some guy comes in. He's like, your flight path is not optimal. You're dog shit at this game. Uninstall right
Yeah.
now. God, the amount of people that
Well, we
told me to
get
do
that.
that on Rust was insane. So,
Yeah. Well, we
yeah.
get that on PoE too as well. I'm never optimal. One of my buddies said the other night, yeah, he's got nodes in his tree. He doesn't even need authentic Timmy build. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm killing shit. I'm level 88 out here, bro. I'm doing something right. But yeah,
For,
I didn't need him. It let me move 3 points, so that was cool.
for sure. Yeah, I like what you said about PvP. So there is definitely, and I played a lot
Hmm.
of PvP games. I spent a lot of time in trying to escape Tarkov, spent a lot of time in Rust, playing Dota 2, Counter-Strike, all these games. I love them. I love like the competitive aspect of them, but it does sort of foster a bit of a different vibe in terms of community. Like I love Rust so much, but that game has like the most toxic player base I've ever seen in a game, basically. And I think Dota 2 was like a close second. Like I've never been told to do terrible things to myself before until I started playing Dota 2 on the internet.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's
Well,
just kind of a
there's something
byproduct
about.
of competitive gaming, right? Is like you have people who take it
Mhm.
so seriously. And I think a lot of it has to do with necessarily like accepting your own responsibility for the win or the loss, but it gives you the opportunity to blame someone else for your like follies, essentially.
Yeah, and those are games that you're taking something from somebody. The whole game is around fucking the other person. You're taking Elo, you're taking their equipment in Rust, you're taking their equipment in Daisy, you're taking their equipment in Tarkov. The whole game is fostered around taking something from another player. I would say this game is more about helping people try. You can't really take anything from anyone, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a competitive game all about screwing the next person. So yeah, it's probably not going to be the most loving environment, you know?
That's so true. It's like not only is PoE kind of more about like helping people, it's also about like knowledge, and it's actually really cool to see people like giving other people knowledge, like giving people like how to level up their gameplay is like you just tell them like answer their questions or share something about the game with somebody that they didn't know about, and that kind of like levels up everybody collectively together, which is kind of like the exact opposite of like all of these other games we're talking about, where it's like we're just trying to take all your shit, we're trying to raid your base, we're trying to
Yeah,
get all your gear. And so yeah, no, I think
right.
that we're onto
Yeah.
something about why this community is just cut above the rest, I feel like.
Tarkov's a pretty helpful community too, as well as being like toxic and cheater infested. But if you go to a Tarkov chat and hang out there for a minute, maybe Drake Zilla's playing Tarkov or something, hang out there for a minute, you'll see the community. Like if you ask a question in there, like what do I do for this task or any Tarkov's a pretty helpful community too, as well as being much more toxic. But and there is some kind of for some reason there's a mesh between Tarkov and I think mostly hardcore Path of Exile, and it's just yeah, like clutching a fight with against like a 4-man or something. It gives you the same feeling as like getting knocked down to 28 health by Silverfist. You know, and maybe that's what it is.
Dude, I hear you. Yeah, there is like a bit of a crossover. I was funny. I was listening to like Pestily talk about this on the Tavern Talk podcast
Mhm.
with DM and Gazzy. And I never really thought about it much until they kind of broke it down. But I think a big similarity is that there's so much knowledge involved in Tarkov 2. Like they don't really tell you like
True.
Battlestate Games doesn't tell you anything about the game in the game. Like you don't know how good a bullet is when you find it. You have to like go on the wiki and like see like, oh, is this US ammo any good, or am I gonna get like die using this ammo because it doesn't pen any armor? Like you don't know, right? And so I
Yeah.
feel like it's kind
Hmm.
of similar to Path of Exile, like where there's a lot of information that we have to learn about. A lot of it's not even within the game or like easily accessible within the game. And so yeah, I think that that's why a lot of people who enjoy Tarkov also enjoy like hardcore PoE. Like there's like a good crossover there, which I love, myself
Right
included
there,
too.
it's not everything's left out. You just said it because you can hold Alt and look at your passage tree, see what skills it's changing, and then Tarkov also added if you read like the description of the ammo, it shows like a armor, it's armor pen, it's flesh damage and stuff like that. But yeah, so they're I think they're starting to learn too. That game's still in beta as well. What's fucking 8 years later or whatever, dude. So yeah, they're still working on that game too.
It's coming out in November. I believe November 15th is like the launch day of Tarkov. Tarkov is
Hmm.
coming out of beta 1.0. Do you have any plans on revisiting the land of Tarkov and trying to escape?
Yeah, it's always been a Christmas kind of game for me for some reason. Tarkov is like a winter vibe, and
Okay.
then now they add snow to it and stuff. Yeah, I've always came back for Christmas. You like build your Christmas tree in the hideout and get some Christmas lights going. It's kind of a vibe. But the issue is I won't be able to play probably some of the maps. I mean, I need a new computer really or a new graphic. I need a new processor is really what it is. Streets of Tarkov is absolutely brutal and just Shoreline too can even be bad with all the foliage, but it's not as bad in the winter with the snow coverage. But yeah, I need a new machine, and then we could maybe do a dual PC setup with my old one or something. But yeah, it definitely Tarkov's one of my favorite games, and it might just be in a PvE setting that I do revisit the game. And I think there's about 7 people that watch that on Twitch, so I don't know if I'll be doing that on stream or not. But yeah,
I hear you. Yeah, I actually really like playing in the wintertime because you can actually see everybody so much clearer. Like everyone contrasts off the snow so much nicer. There's no like rats hiding in bushes or not as many in the
yeah,
winter. And I get way better frame rates when I play in the winter too because there's like less shit on
right.
the screen. So no, I hear you, man.
Hmm.
You're onto something. It is like a Christmas game for sure.
It is, dude. The hideout, you get it all pimped out with Christmas stuff. You
Yeah.
get like the ornaments. You turn in X amount of ornaments, different colors, red, purple, or green, or red, white, or purple, and you can craft yourself like found in raid items for tasks or stuff like that with the ornaments. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Or Santa.
I've done a couple Christmas. Yeah, dude, I always kill Santa by accident.
Don't kill Santa,
I
bro.
always kill them by accident. Bad.
Dude, I walked up to him, I threw him some bullshit on the ground. He dropped me a roller. I'm like, sick. And then I threw some other bullshit on the ground. He dropped me, I don't even remember what it was, but it was another baller item.
Oh, that's
Like a
sick.
GPU. I don't think it was yeah, it was sick. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I wanted to ask.
Moonshine, that's what it was.
Oh shit, moonshine is crazy. I love
Yeah.
when you get the hideout set up and you got the moonshine thing cooking you up that moonshine every like
Hmm.
however many hours and stuff like that. I love Tarkov.
Tarkov's good.
I love it. It hits very similar in a similar way to like hardcore PoE does. It's you're so right about
Yeah.
that. There's something special about it. If the game could just run better, actually, if both games could just run better, oh my god, we'd be we'd be in like gaming heaven. Um, okay, okay, I got some more PoE questions. I wanted to kind of get your
All
perspective
right.
on PoE, just like the first game. So like from what I'm gathering, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, you kind of started playing PoE 2 first, or you have a lot more experience with PoE 2 than PoE 1. So give me a breakdown of like when did you hear about Path of Exile or Path of Exile 2, and how much experience do you have in the first game?
Path of Exile 2, I think maybe I saw Pastilli playing it or something. Because I knew he liked PoE 1, and every time that he's ever like started streaming it, like he go from Tarkov to PoE 1, I'm like, this game looks kind of it looks kind of like iffy or something. I don't know. I just didn't like the way it looked.
Mhm.
Uh, and then so happen I've been following Pastilli since like 2018 from Tarkov or whatever. Uh, and I saw him playing PoE 2, and I stop in and look at it like, dude, this game looks fucking sick. Like it just graphically, I like visuals, graphically, and just everything looked better, go figure. It's a newer game, but so I'm like, that game looks kind of cool. And again, my mom was sick, and I was just kind of needed something to play. I was playing Exanima, if you've ever heard of it. I was kind of just fucking around with that. That game's really cool, but um, so I think I downloaded it. $30, when I'm not that huge of an investment. And then my buddy Spanky and Rumbles downloaded it, and I'd go hang out with my mom in hospice all day and then come home and play Path of Exile at night and watch Nug Run and Naysayer. And it was late nights. So Moxie, Miso Shiru, I'd hang out and just watch them and hang out with my buddies in Discord and play it. And but yeah, but as far as that's how I started playing Path of Exile 2. Never, and then Path of Exile 1, I was streaming Path of Exile 2, and there were some people in chat like, dude, you have fucking 2,000 hours on PoE 2. I have 3,000 now. But then they're like, just try Path of Exile 1. So I'm like, whatever, dude. And I downloaded it and I tried it. And I do long streams, usually 8 hours minimum. And I go 15, 10, 12. It's just all kind of just long streams generally. But I was finding it a hard time to get through like 4 hours on PoE 1. I was just getting bored and like tired. I'm like, I just want to lay down. And that doesn't happen when I'm having fun,
For
So
sure.
inherently, the game I just wasn't having fun with it. But I got to Act 6, and I was like, dude, this is enough. And people were busting my balls and stuff, saying I would die to the Roa and shit. Dude, I didn't die till like Act 4 or something. It's not, the game's not that bad. It's not that unapproachable. The passive tree seemed half of the size of what we have for some reason. I know there's different things that you can do and stuff. It didn't seem that bad. I just didn't like fighting monsters in it, Like I just didn't like the fighting of monsters. I like everything else. The crafting bench is sick. The abilities, the build diversity, everything's really cool. It's just the graphics, animations, and that's really it. It's the animations and graphics combined that makes the fighting feel bad. Like it just feels stiff. Like it's very linear. You just stand here and you like slam your hammer, you cast some shit, or you just can't like, and then you dodge linear, and then you like everything's linear. Like, and I just feel more fluid with the WASD and dodge rolling. It just fits me as an FPS player a lot more. So and then that's how I found you, Blaze. I didn't know who you were, but I was just on YouTube watching like Path of Exile, like one beginner videos and shit like that after streams, after my 4 hour PoE 1 sessions. And I found your YouTube channel. I watched your PoE 1 like impressions video, and like, dude, it was like fucking 4 or 5 months later that I met you. So I followed your YouTube channel like months ago. And same with young Doc. Yeah, he stopped in and he's like, "Yeah, I do YouTube." And I open his video. I'm like, "No shot, bro." Like all I see is him coming out of the portal. I'm like, dude, I watched this video already. Like
Yeah.
I pulled my YouTube over and showed like 4 completed watches on his videos. I'm like, dude, I ain't bullshitting. So that's crazy, you know. But yeah, that's about the extent of it for Path of Exile 1. I tried it, found your YouTube channel, pretty much agreed with a lot of it. That you don't hate the game, it's just not for you, pretty much is like the end result of it. And yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Like I know there's new stuff coming for it in December. I probably won't be trying it. If you look at my broadcasts since March, there's like 3 streams. I've streamed every day since then, and there's been like 3 days that I didn't play Path of Exile 2. So I'm here and playing hardcore SSF. I do not get bored of the game. You know, a lot of people are like, "Fuck, dude, I played it for 2 weeks. I'm bored. I don't know what to do. I have a mirror and all this." It's like, well, I don't. I died. I haven't even seen maps yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just fucking. I don't know. I like the pace and longevity of hardcore so much more. Yeah. So
Me
that's my
too.
PoE journey. I think I answered your question. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I hear you 100%. I think that like we have very similar experiences. It was cool that you found me kind of as we were both going through the PoE 1 journey together.
It's
As
exactly what it was.
Yeah, as PoE 2 players kind of going back and trying the first game out for the first time essentially like I definitely agree. I feel like there is something special about the way that GGG has designed PoE 2 and it just feels good to play the game. Like it's hard to pinpoint exactly why it is. It might be a combination of like what you said, the visuals, the sound design, the animations, the
Yes.
graphics, like all of this shit comes together. And like, dude, I always say like I still like am in awe when I like blow up frozen monsters and they just like fall apart into like chunks of ice and like a massive like storm wave. I'm just like, God damn, that feels good. Like it fucking hits, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I didn't get that in PoE 1 either. Like and I think it has a lot to
Mm-mm.
do with the movement too. Like, having WASD, being able to move while you're attacking, like, you're in melee and you're using ice strike and it kind of like, you know, moves you forward a bit. It helps you like kind of directionally move your character with your abilities. Like there are these little touches in the game that just make that combat experience feel like really, really solid. And that's what we're playing, right? Is to
Mhm.
kill monsters and feel good while we're doing it. So yeah, no, I hear you, man. 100%.
Yeah, the A in action RPG is kind of important for me.
Mhm.
The action part of it, and how the action feels. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I would agree.
definitely. Yeah, no, I appreciate your perspective on it. I definitely will personally be going back to trying like Path of Exile 1 again because as much as my video may come across like I didn't enjoy it, I actually really like the game and I have a lot of respect for it, especially because it's like, the first edition of a game that I now love so much as well. And like, I think from my understanding, it's kind of like an acquired taste where you have to give it, and we can talk about if that's a good game design or not, where you have to keep trying a game over and over again to get into it. But for me personally, it's like, you gotta give it a few shots in order to like really, appreciate the game. And so, yeah, my next shot, I think that I'm going to like actually. So here's the thing, I did that video and a lot of people gave me feedback about what I did wrong. Oh, you should have played Trade League. Oh, you should have followed a build guide, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of want to do a video called I Was Wrong about PoE 1 and take all of the feedback that people gave me and throw it out the window and beat the whole game on a homebrewed build, not playing Trade League as well, just to kind of be like, I can do this. You know what I mean? So it might be a
Yeah,
redemption arc, you know what I mean, for PoE 1 for me.
I mean, I did a homebrew build. It was just a fissure fucking warrior, and I picked the duelist because I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna pick something I've never used, and I wound up using a mace, and then I wound up using an axe, and I was just standing there just fissuring things. I don't know. Fell asleep a couple times.
But dude, Sunder feels really good in PoE 1. Like I wanted to use Sunder so bad in PoE 1 just to see like, oh, I've been playing. So when I made my first character in PoE 2, it was a warrior I used Resonating Shield to break armor, and then I used Sunder to crit them on the broken armor thing, and like the
Mm,
whole combo. It was very within the vision. It was very
yeah.
meaningful combat, and like it was complete dog shit. I'm not gonna lie, it was horrible.
Yeah,
But it
my
was
first character was an
yeah.
ice orc and also dog shit. I think mostly because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, me too. 100%. But I wanted to go back in PV1 and be like, yo, what does Sunder feel like? And then I went in and I was like, holy shit, like Sunder fucking owns in PV1. Like, this is crazy.
Well,
Um,
nothing has any weight to it. I think it's this, I like the slow animations of a mace in particular. It adds to the visceral nature. Like it just makes it feel like you're fucking swinging something that's heavy. Like I don't want everything to feel like it's a pool noodle. It's just like everything's too. It's like it's like the game is accelerated. Like it's like if we played PoE2 combat with 3x speed sped up. Like it feels unnatural. It looks unnatural to me, you know? Like Sunder, it should be a massive shockwave of spikes, yeah, and you should be able to get it fast, but like as fast as swinging just like a 12-ounce hammer, like, no. It doesn't seem right and it looks awkward. And I think that's one of the deterring factors for PoE is just the accelerated animations. Ours are slow. Sunder could use a little work. He does this like with Sunder, he like puts it in front of him. I'm a huge warrior guy. He puts it in front of him, then swings it behind and then jumps and slams. Like if he just ignored this part of it, if you just picked it up and slammed, it would be a lot better. You know, it's just the length of the animation. I don't know if it's the speed of the animation for Sunder in particular.
it's kind of like what you said, though. Like those like factors, like the animation speed and stuff like that, help the two-handed mace skills have that like that oomph, that like punchiness, that like chunkiness to them. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
get what they're trying to do with it, you know what I mean? I just feel like what's the most challenging about melee weapon skills is that right now the only quick stuff we have is like spears and I guess some quarterstaff abilities as well, but like we don't have like the other end of the spectrum when it comes to like speed of melee like attacks and abilities. Like imagine if we had like the mace stuff on one hand, and then on the other end of the spectrum, we had like daggers or swords, which I would imagine would be like super mobile, quicker animations. I think that it would help kind of distinguish like, you know, the different feel for melee. Like you can kind of go more into the slow stuff. Like, dude, Hammer of the Gods feels incredible to use. Like it feels
I
fucking
love it.
sick when you
It's my
drop that
favorite.
bitch down and just like boom, and then it's ancestrally boosted and it's green and just like
Mhm.
shit flies out. Like, dude, like that skill shouldn't be something you're just spamming constantly. Like there's a build up for it, and I think it encapsulates like the mace skills like really really well. So yeah,
Right.
I just can't wait for more melee weapons to come in the game that also like change it up for like speed and animations too.
Axes, that'll probably have the same skills similar to maces. Yeah, but axes are just inherently faster, But I would imagine like the initial fizz hit of it isn't going to be as big, so it's lean into bleed or just cracked out attack speed or elemental stuff, maybe even some like lighting axes. That'd be cool, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, hopefully with swords and stuff, they offer us a different because we have one-handed maces that we have variety of maces. Hopefully that continues with the melee because I'd like to have a huge fucking sword that swings slow as fuck too,
for sure.
or like a katana style weapon that would fit. Still a two-hander, but more dex based for like a monk or something. But then like two little swords that would act more like one-handed maces, perhaps. Or the daggers, I suppose, would be the little swords. Yeah. So, and same with axes. Like, I hope we need like two-handed axes to kind of do our God of War fantasy or something, and then the two-handed axe for people like me that like to feel like you're in quicksand the entire time you're playing.
I'm excited. I really hope that in 0.4 there we at least get like another melee weapon of some kind. I feel like we just desperately the melee boys need it. It's a bit of a struggle to play melee, and I try it every single patch. I think warrior for me, like I know you said you're like a warrior main, like warrior for me secretly is my favorite like character. I love every single ascendancy. I've tried all of them now, and like yeah, it just feels good to play. It's just in contrast to range, it kind of doesn't feel good to play. But if you don't look at that without like with a comparison factor, like the feeling of playing warrior or playing melee, like it's just fun. Like it's just fun to be,
Mhm.
really engaged in combat close up. And yeah, I really love
Right.
it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, it feels different when you're just like in the mix, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing about a warrior, there's a trade-off. Like, obviously our life pool is low. Like, we can't really be tanky warriors, sort of to an extent. Like I can feel tanky, but until you're just not anymore because your life pool can't get there. But all of your damage is up front, like right now, fuck you damage. You don't have to wait around for anything. So like there has to be a trade-off because if I could have 8,000 life pool like energy shield, or if I could have cracked evasion and energy shield on my warrior, plus what I can do with them, how I build them with just pure life and armor, it's just not even fair because dude, the hammer of the gods just deletes shit. If you build it right and put the bleed 3 in there, 100% chance to bleed, it just absolutely destroys shit. So there needs to be that trade-off, but I just feel like we're a little bit low though on that life pool. I mean, I'm not expecting to get 8,000 life, but getting 3 should be a lot easier than it is,
For
at
sure.
least.
I
Yeah.
tried out life and armor in Timmy's league, in your in your league. I don't even have to say Timmy's league. I can just say your league while we're talking. On my gemling, I did like a shield wall, like fortifying cry build. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, like armor felt really fucking good. Like it felt really good throughout the campaign. I transitioned into maps.
Yeah.
I had a shield on too. And like, with block,
Hmm.
the elemental damage absorbed by armor and just armor. I was vibing and I only had like 2k health. And then I just got one shot in Trial of the Sekimas. And everyone in my
I
chat is
saw
like,
that. I was
bro,
watching.
life is dog shit, armor bad. Like you just got one shot. And I was like, was that an armor life thing? Or does everyone just die to that? And so I kind of wish I got to push that character to the limits because it was feeling really, really solid, like until he just
We should have
one
had.
shot.
I don't know what kind of character Major said he died the exact same way. And
Mhm.
Major usually goes like energy shield. I don't know what kind of character it was that died that way, but that might just be an overtuned attack. There was one offender in point two that I noticed got addressed. The little tiny dudes that spawn with the corruption that shoot like the little quick yellow lightning bolts. Those got changed. I don't know if it was mentioned anywhere. I don't really read patch notes, but in point two, dude, those would chunk me for a quarter of my health. It could be the elemental resistance on the armor now too, but I swear those were changed. I think there's just certain things that are overtuned, and that might be one of them, dude. Like a dead enemy just fucking one tapping you while you're looking at loot. That's not cool. I saw it. That sucks. It broke
Yeah.
my fat little heart, bro.
It happens, brother. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
game, right? Like we play hardcore for those moments. And like I was talking to Barricade
Mhm.
about this, like, those moments are like when you locked the fuck in and you got down to like 20, 10, 15% HP and you like played the game properly. You survived. Your adrenaline is pumping through your veins. You're like, holy shit, that felt so fucking awesome. We all know that death is around the corner. You can get one shot by shit. It's in early access. There's a lot of stuff
Mhm.
that's not like tuned properly. Trials of the Sekimo, that little fucking paper plane shit. But yeah, like it's all good, man. Like it happens, and we're there testing it to help the game become really good for people when the game's done and like 1.0. You know what I mean? Hopefully, people don't get one shot by
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
I will say thank you for taking one for the team. I pay attention after the icy hot nights are dead now. That's for sure.
It had to be somebody. It had to be somebody, and it was just me
Yeah.
this time. And apparently, that was a well-known thing. Like Major even said, like, "Yo, when I saw you kill those guys, I knew exactly what it was going to be." But it's just a knowledge thing, right? Like a lot of the game is like you have to know that thing that doesn't look dangerous does like 10k cold hit to your fucking character. Like it's insane. Um, but bro, I wanted to ask you sort of just to generally talk about hardcore and hardcore SSF. So you're basically like,
Mhm.
for the most part, an HCSSF guy. Like you played, that's like your play style. And you kind of talked about like, it extending the longevity of your like gameplay experience. Are there any other like reasons why like this game mode has really stuck with you and made it your like primary way you play the game?
You're just on an island by yourself. It's you against the game. I can't just run to the currency exchange and get an essence that I need or exalted. You know what I mean? I can't just you find a divine. It's almost not even worth anything until you get 5 to 10 of them to where you could just spam a unique belt or something. Because slamming one divine is just going to ruin it. You already know that. That's our luck as crafting in PoE. So I like that it makes the game. It makes all the currencies not currencies. It makes it crafting materials. That's what they're there for. Like you're just on an island by yourself with nobody else to rely on but yourself. I like fighting games. I like playing solo Tarkov. It's just kind of it's you versus the game. Um, yeah, I've kind of just I like solo gaming, but I do enjoy playing with people sometimes, but I have a couple softcore guys they were just dead hardcore guys after getting beat up so bad at the beginning of point three. I played like 5 to 6 days or something of softcore. And I tried playing with people, and it's okay with 1 or 2 even, but more than that, the game feels like shit, in my opinion. It's laggy. Everything's tanky as hell, especially being on a warrior. You can't stun anything. In a boss fight, I'm pretty much useless. I can't even fucking build glory to drop a hammer of the gods or anything. You just can't stun anything. And if you build stun on something, somebody's lightning arrow is just like ping, ping, goes like taking the stun off the fucking enemy. You're like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'll just fucking auto attack everything.
Mace strike all
It's just like,
day. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. The game feels a lot better playing solo, and then the orbs being crafting instead of currency, I would say. And longevity of the game. I played 1,000 hours, before I ever touched hardcore. I didn't even think I would play hardcore. Now it's hard to play anything else, really. Just every engagement has a meaning. Like it just makes you consider everything. You're going through the campaign. You can't just some people just send it. I'm not that guy. I look at my reses before every fight, make sure everything's in line. And it's I think it's just a better way to play the game for me.
I agree. Yeah, it's totally like once you kind of get used to the added I guess like risk of like going back to the beach from fighting a boss or that like kind of adrenaline rush that you get when you get really low or when you find a useful upgrade. Like it's hard to go back to softcore and expect to feel those same like dopamine hits. I don't know. I haven't tried
You
softcore since
don't.
yeah, you don't, right? Like I haven't
You
tried
just
it
don't.
since 0.1, and so I can't really speak to it anymore. But dude, even though GGG dropped like the massive trade update with Ange and like the asynchronous trade and stuff like that, like that wasn't enough for me to like be like, yeah, I'll play some trade league. Like I just love hardcore and I love SSF first and foremost. Like I think that
Hmm.
it kind of feels like the way the game's like meant to be played. And we were talking about this in my stream earlier today, where like I think that trade kind of trivializes the game a bit too quickly, and people get bored way too quickly because they just want to do
Yeah.
everything so fast. And I think trade has a lot to do with that. And so, if anyone's listening and they're kind of bored of the game, I definitely recommend like giving SSF a shot, give HC a shot if you're cool with challenging yourself against the game. If you're like a Chad and and softcore, like try SSF, try hardcore, and like see how you fare over there because it's different and it's a really good time too.
I'd be curious to know if the HCSSF community is a little bit older, because it takes me back to like the just you versus the game. There was no fucking internet. You couldn't just like look up guides and tutorials of how to get the best stuff or farm 25 divs an hour. Like, I don't know, man. I just come from a different world, and I feel like almost when it comes to games, I don't know. There's something's been lost along the way. It's just that everybody's wanting to speed run everything, whether they realize it or not. It's like people bitch about there's no games to play or that they cost too much or something, and then you do everything you can to shorten it. So,
Yeah, it's weird, and I think it
yeah.
has a lot to do with just like how much information there is out there. Like, I don't know, when we were kids, like, you're not that much older than me, but you had a few years on me. But, when I was a kid, like you had to buy the guide, like the booklet. That was like how you figured out shit in the game. Like, you play
Hmm.
World of Warcraft or something like that, and you had like the booklet. Like you went in there and you're like, yo, like what are these spells do? What are these quests leading me? All this type of shit. And that was how we figured out the game. Like now everything is just so min max, so optimized, so figured out that like And if you're not doing that, you're playing the game wrong. And this kind of leads into a bunch of different issues in PoE 2. Like, rarity is one of them that a lot of people have been talking about these days. Where, like, if you're not at a certain rarity level, is your build dog shit? Even if it can clear all content, you still have to be like at this threshold to like optimally farm like gear and stuff like that, or currency. And it's very much so like that is a reflection of like the space in video games that we're in today. It's like, you know, we got to be min max, we got to be optimized. If you're not, doing everything the fastest possible, you're bad. And it kind of sucks.
You're min-maxing the fucking fun out of the game, bro.
Yeah.
God, like it's just like anything else. If it's say you're at your job, just like doing your day-to-day task, and somebody comes in just wanting to min max everything that you're doing, it's going to make it more miserable. Like, it just min maxing is going to take the fun or enjoyment out of anything. It's and if so, but if that's the way you like playing the game, that's fine, because there's tons of games that are number simulators, and that you can do that in this game too, and that's fine, bro. Like, but I just don't like when you start treading on me, where like you're just not. I don't know. Just play the game however you want. And I think everybody would be fine. There's no hierarchy of PoE2 players. It's just we all paid for the game. We're all sitting in our own environment playing the game that we paid for. You shouldn't like be hard on anybody for doing anything a certain way, I think.
Absolutely, man. And I know that, like, dude, and I'm guilty of this sometimes. There's a little bit of like an elitist mentality when it comes to playing like hardcore versus like softcore. And like, I think it comes down to sort of this conversation that we're having right now, where it's like, we just want to play the game more. Like, we want to just extend our enjoyment with the game. And I think that like inevitably comes from playing hardcore. Like, you just die, you gotta go again. Like, you may have not have even seen the pinnacle boss yet because you haven't like made it to a pinnacle boss. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm trying my best to be as like, as just understanding of like the different ways that people can play the game. And like, I truthfully love the fact that like, if you want to sit in your hideout and have the most fun, just like crafting shit and selling shit and never go play a map, like you can fucking do that and you can have a kick-ass time. And then there's me on the other hand, just like sweating balls, running through the jungle ruins, like afraid that a giant monkey with an apartment building on his shoulder is going to come slam me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just two different games, which is super cool. And I think that the more ways that people can play the game, the better. So I wanted to ask you, one of the ways that's kind of a bit like, I guess controversial is the like pause and reset to checkpoint mechanic in hardcore. And I wanted to ask you sort of like, what are your like thoughts on that particular like, cheese or like strategy or however you would kind of call it? Yeah. How do you feel about it?
Um, I've it's an option in the game. I use it. I use it in maps now. I just explained how you're able to kind of cheese the map bosses. It's a feature or an option or a setting, however you want to look at it. And just as ones choose not to use said feature, I choose to use said feature. So it's a feature in the game, and until it's not, I'm going to use it.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I had 16 characters or some shit like that I didn't pause on. And then eventually I said, fuck this. Because what it was that put me over the edge to become a pause enjoyer, fucking pause champ. And I got a quick pause, dude. I've worked on it. Sometimes
Yeah.
I do the double pause and fuck myself. But
Yeah.
dude, I walked into a blackjaw fight in Cruel World when that was a thing. And I'm like, damn it, dude, I don't even have a ruby ring on. Like, I'm not my fucking like my I wanted to upgrade my flask and get ruby rings on before I walked into this blackjaw fight. And I was just bullshitting, talking, you know what I mean? Just talking to chat, and I fucking slapped the rune core, the soul core, whatever the hell it is, in the I walk into the blackjaw fight and I'm like, son of a bitch, dude. And I, check I'm like, dude, this sucks. I'm like, well, whatever. I gotta fight him. And he just like kills me instantly. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? If I had fire res, that wouldn't have happened. And at that point, I'm like, dude, being a non-pauser, you're holding yourself to such a standard that you are holding yourself to that standard. No one else is really. So it's on you if you want to do that or not. And I don't want to hold myself to that standard. I'm streaming, I'm listening to music, I'm burning. Like, my attention can be at a different place at any given time. And if I can just simply hit the escape key to save fucking 20 to 50 hours of playtime. Like I'd be a fool not to do that. I'm not a nowhere on my channel does it say pro gamer, best gamer around. Like I just play the damn game and I want to get as far as I can without dying. And pressing escape allows me to do that on occasion. So I mean, I send it, dude. I fucking play. It's not like I'm doing the Quinn like baby. No offense to Quinn, it's
Yeah.
hilarious, but
Yeah.
like the baby step. You know what I mean? I'm not baby stepping shit. It's just sometimes you're like talking to chat and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta pause. Like okay, and then now you're alive still because that option is there. And until it's not, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, 100%, man. I totally agree with you. And like I had this conversation with Barricade and we kind of hit the same sort of topics and kind of the same conclusion as well, but it's cool to hear sort of your like, reason for it. And I do think that like as long as it's in the game, my personal opinion is it's just another tool in your hardcore toolkit and you can still die while having that tool in your toolkit. Like it
Hmm.
is kind of skill. Like I know people, especially people who don't play hardcore are like, "Oh, why do you play hardcore? It's literally pause core. You can't die. You just fucking pause." And it's like, "Oh yeah, tell that to the 40 characters that I've died playing the game while still having this feature. Like you still get one tapped all the time from shit. If you fuck up and you
Yep.
pause and you unpause thinking you can like make it out and then you die, like I don't know. It's just a thing. It's another thing, right? So would I be okay if they took it out of the game? Absolutely. It is cheesy, but
Hmm.
right now because it is in the game, like I'm gonna use it too. It couldn't save you time, especially if you're streaming, man. Like if you're streaming, you're talking to chat, you're looking at another monitor, you're not like 100% locked in all the time. Like it's just it's a good thing to have 100%.
Have an extremely needy cat climbing all over you, all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So we talked a bunch about hardcore SSF, kind of the reasons why you like it, sort of you versus the world or you versus the game, and how it kind of extends your, experiences with it. I wanted to talk to you just about like zero point 0.3 in general. So this patch, we got like, sprinting, we got the new Abyssal League, we got like, we got rid of Cruel World. Cruel World is gone now. Like, were there any
Mhm.
specific like W's that really have stuck out to you so far? Like, what's your favorite thing about zero point 0.3 that we've seen so far?
Support gems
Yeah.
that I made a gemling solely. I like one of my warrior varieties, my mace user varieties was a gemling because I could have fist of war in multiple skills and heft in multiple skills, and that was that was something that I really found enjoyment in. So that's something I was excited for before point three even dropped. And now it's just kind of like we're used to it. So, but crafting, yeah, like I mean, crafting was huge. Being able to actually get yourself a decent weapon if you know how to do it, you could at least like you could guarantee get yourself a decent weapon. It might not, but you have a way higher chance of getting yourself a great weapon as well. So yeah, all of it's really cool. The Abyss stuff was kind of sketchy. Like it still is sketchy. I'm a pure life melee character. I have that pin tactician with grenades, and he just destroys everything. He's armored evasion, pure life. But yeah, so yeah, the abyss was a pro for sure. I actually look forward to killing that stuff on a couple of my characters. On the warrior, I'm just running around like scared, you know. So the crafting and the support gems were a huge W for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy how far the game has come since like zero point 0.1, even from like zero point 0.2, like going from I always say like in terms of crafting, we're eating like breadcrumbs, like we were like in a prison cell and they were like sprinkling in like here's a few currency orbs here and there to craft. And now it's like we got the buffet, dude. Even as a SSF player, I feel like I can find all my shit that I need to make like pretty dope gear, like no issues, you know?
Yeah, and then prior to that, the like I remember in point two, I had the title of my stream a few times was Dawn of the Hunt for Regal Orbs. So not only did we not have any determination in our crafting, we just couldn't even find a damn Regal Orb. Like it was rough, dude. When you get two exalts in the campaign, if you're lucky, yeah. So things have gotten better. They're being a lot more generous with the orbs that we need, and they give you best stuff, but you got to fight for it sometimes.
Yeah, I like the risk versus reward with Abyss, like especially
Hmm.
in the campaign. I feel like you get so much shit just from like out of those troves. Like you do it a Abyssal trove, and it's like there's got to be like a Regal Orb in there or an Exalt or something like that. And it just feels good to like, even in hardcore, like try and risk it for the fucking like good shit you get. And dude, I'm glad you brought up like 0.2 because like, man, people don't like a lot of people don't remember like how bad it was for currency. Like before they did the currency update, it was like, dude, you SSF
It was
players. Yeah,
horrible.
it was bad. And I've been playing SSF the whole time since like 0.1 and like so it's cool. Like the game is in the best state it's ever been in, like hands down. And yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
excited. What
And now you get
issues?
essence too through the campaign
Oh
as
my
well.
god, dude,
I
the
just want to
essences
add
are
that. Yeah.
insane. I always forget
Hmm.
like going back from like playing PoE1, I'm sure you saw like essences in PoE1 and you were like, why the fuck don't essences work this way in PoE2? Like they're just amazing. And now essences are like one of the best ways to craft in PoE2 as well.
Yeah, I love it, dude. And I have the essence stuff on the Atlas too. So, dude, when you corrupt one of them bitches and it's got like 5 essences on it, dude, it's dropping perfect essence of battles and stuff. It's really satisfying. Just you just drop a hammer of the gods and then click that thing open. As soon as it opens, just boom, and just drops essence everywhere. It's sick.
Dude, hell yeah. So I wanted to ask you, sort of, we talked about a lot of the W's in 0.3. What are you like? What's like grinding your gears right now in the game? Like, what are you struggling with? What do you want fixed? What are some issues that have been pissing you off?
Um, Dude, that's like not even easy for me to answer. I fucking love the game, dude. I'm not like I guess it's just life pool because I would say it's armor. That's what's something that I thought I would mention, but I think armor's okay. It's the life pool that's behind it. You
Mm,
know, that's really my only gripe. I would say is um the lack of HP. And I know there's ways of getting it like with jewels and high end items, but dude, to get that in SSF is just not even realistic a lot of the time. Like, dude, my jewels always suck. My jewels are fucking terrible. Even when I get time lost, there's usually one wasted thing on it. So, yeah, that's really my only complaint, to be honest with you, bro. I mean, I was looking forward to a new class, but the game's in early access, man. I'm not really rushing that. But yeah, that's really my only gripe still. Armor has gotten better. Evasion, I guess, got better. I'm kind of like I've only used 50/50, like a ES with um evasion or armor with evasion. So I've only used it in a hybrid type format. But so I would say that it would just be life would be my only gripe in the game right now. Like I mentioned in your stream earlier, we need some love on the west side of the passage tree. But we have no in strength classes, so that it only makes sense that it's kind of barren over there. Yeah, that would be my only gripe, bro. I
yeah,
guess.
I hear
Yeah, and
you.
end game like my only gripe that isn't obvious. I mean, I guess even life pool is obvious, but I guess end game. But as a hardcore SSF player, like end game is still enticing to me. I'm not like I just did my first mansion or whatever the hell it was, the Jade Islands or whatever the hell. I didn't get a Rockiatus flow, but so like it's I don't even have a problem with the end game even really right now. Give me a little while and maybe I will. But to answer that right now, I'd say life pool, man, and make it a little bit easier for us to get 3,000 life at least. And then if you get cracked out equipment, you can get 5 or 6 maybe or something. But yeah, I'm just having a hard time with life. I get hit by something and I see like a quarter of my life go away. It's just I'm like running around on eggshells all the time as a warrior guy.
Definitely. I feel like GGG is definitely like aware of this
Yeah,
particular piece
right.
of feedback as
Mhm.
well. And like what I've been, kind of noticing over the development of this game is like they're very aware of player feedback. And I do think that we will see life get added to the tree at some point. Like, we
Mhm.
didn't expect to see asynchronous trade or like towers reworked until like 1.0, and that happened in like 0.3. So I think they're listening and they're aware, and I wouldn't be surprised if like we see life on the tree like sooner rather than later as well.
Yeah, I'm very positive about the game. Dude, I would probably still be playing it, being a hardcore SSF dude, if the game hasn't changed since point one. Like, I would probably still be playing it just as much as I do. So I might not be the best person to ask for negative feedback from. I kind of just like the game, you know?
No, that's cool, man. I always ask that because I think that like, you know, we have like, the power to like, provide this like feedback. We can
Mhm.
talk about all day about how much we love the game and like, that's awesome. I love the game too. But I think that's it's important to kind of think about like, what are we struggling with right now? Like what are going to make things better so that we can love the game even more and more people can love the game as well. And for me right now, as you mentioned, I think that like that side of the tree, the west side, it needs some love. We will probably get that with like the addition of like the Templar, for example, or the Druid. Maybe strength in with either one of those classes. We'll probably see a lot more of the tree fleshed out. Another one that everyone talks about, and it's kind of like beating a dead horse, is just like optimization. Like, I don't think that it's a huge issue, but I do think that like in terms of like the hierarchy of things that they need to work on, like they obviously need to work on finishing the game first before they make it like, campaign levels of optimization. But there is like a big difference for me anyway when I'm playing through the campaign. It just feels so smooth. I got 60 frames all the time. I'm enjoying the game, and then you get to end game, you go into your first overrun map, and it's like I have like 10 FPS, and it just feels like, oh my god, like what happened to the game that was running so smooth? That was feeling so good to play. So that's kind of like my biggest
Yeah,
thing
I
right
think
now.
I'm not a tech guy. I don't really, I mean, I'm not anyone really, but the I think it's like a memory leak issue. I remember people saying that was an issue with Tarkov in the past. And you would play a couple raids and then your game would start lagging its ass off and you just turn your game off and restart it. And you could even clear your cache on their launcher or whatever.
Mhm.
And you restart it and it's fine. And I've been doing the same thing on Path of Exile too. I'll just close my game out every couple maps or just really when it hasn't been bad actually. I think it's been pretty good lately, but when it starts running like that, I just run away from the abyss, which generally prompts the lag spike. I just run away from the abyss and TP out and or even just run away from it and just close my game real quick and load it back up and it's always fine.
Yeah,
And it just runs like perfect. So it's some kind of just pure speculation from what I've heard in the past is like a memory leak thing where just kind of loading up your RAM, I guess, until you close the game, I guess, or something. I don't know. But it seems to be you just close the game and it's fine when you reopen it.
yeah,
So
and
I
I know they're gonna
recommend
solve
that.
it too. Like the campaign is so optimized and it feels so good, and you never really get performance issues in it. And I know that eventually, like that's going to be the way the entire game feels. It's just right now it's kind of tough. But yeah, other than that, like yeah, there's nothing else that kind of comes to mind for you in terms of like things to improve, things that we could kind of work on.
Well, I mean, all like, well, yeah, obviously there's things, but I just kind of, as far as like negatives that are like impacting my play right now, I don't think so. But yeah, of course, more things. I mean, I want a druid, I didn't even think I would want a druid until I started stampeding with a warrior. I'm like, bro,
True. Yeah.
just fucking crush through shit. But back to the performance, I don't play a lot of real like cracked out builds, and I'm not delirium up fucking 6 mod maps and running abyssal overloaded maps and all that kind of stuff. So maybe I'm not seeing the high end build performance issues that people have. So that's possible too.
Mhm.
But yeah, the perform like if you would have asked if we would have had this podcast a couple weeks ago, performance would have been the first thing I fucking said
Yeah.
because it was really getting annoying. But they got it better. Something happened. It's better.
Yeah.
I don't even think I had to restart my game last night. Maybe once or twice or something. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean more things, more weapons, more classes, more crafting options. Yeah. And I hope the abyss stays like the crafting stays exactly like it is. Um and just maybe a little bit rare so that we can't have such strong weapons in the game so easily.
For sure.
Uh
I think it will stay
yeah.
the same, but you're absolutely right. There will just be less Abyss stuff because Abyss won't be
Mhm.
on every map anymore. It'll just be like another thing that we have to like put tablets in. There'll be like Abyss tablets or whatever. You might randomly get an Abyssal thing that'll lead into an Abyss, a-hole as I call them,
Yeah.
So there'll be less a-holes and shit. But yeah, like, so that's the thing right now. I feel like we got pretty blessed with like the amount of crafting that we have with like all the ritual stuff,
Mhm.
the abyssal stuff. I just say to people, enjoy it while it lasts because it's not going to be this crazy. But another thing we don't know is like what the next content crafting is going to be, because I guess every single, based on PoE1, every single piece of content they add to the game has its own crafting currency or system, and so it's going to be interesting how they balance all of that out to like fit within the puzzle that is crafting right now.
Right. I guess I could add just some of the bosses. I feel like they need a little bit of work. Like I mentioned, Yama be a little kind of buggy earlier, and that damn Abyss boss, dude, that was really miserable to fight in softcore. I died like 40 times in a row to that dude. I mean, I don't know if you've messed with him at all. It's just the arena. I don't know. Some of the
Is that
like
Coolamac,
the
that
boss.
pinnacle boss? I
Yeah, I
haven't fought him
think
yet.
like
I haven't fought him yet.
the first three versions of him are he's soft as baby shit, but that last version, dude, is just fucking toxic, man. Like you really need a strong build to go in there, I
Okay.
would say, because the arena is just full of mess. It's just not very. It's not very like clear what the hell you're supposed to be doing. After dying and fighting him a few times, I wound up getting better at him, but it's just that I feel like that boss needs worked on a little bit. I don't know. The boss is he's a fucking mess, dude. He's just like teleporting all over the place. But yeah, I don't know. Some of the boss mechanics just seem like they bug out a little bit.
Oh, I've seen it. I've
Benedictus,
seen it.
yeah, Benedictus killed Loopy, all kind of bugged. I don't know if yours, if I would consider that a bug, but maybe it just needs addressed. Like when the boss is dead, like maybe his like one tap mechanic doesn't pop off. That'd be nice.
I got
I don't know. So
dragged
maybe just
by the that one dude, the Fallen Sun in like Act 2, like in maps, like that guy who like does the spinny move. I don't know. There's something jank about any of the big bosses when it comes to like their hit boxes for some reason. Like,
yeah, the collisions. The
yeah,
dude that stomps around, the
yeah,
big troll dude that stomps around, he's so hard to fight with a melee guy.
yeah.
You're just like missing. You try to shield charge, you go through his legs. It's very awkward and clunky, that one. It
Hmm.
felt fine on a tactician.
Yeah.
Like range felt good.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think melee in general might just be kind of left behind. Like it's obviously like the concept of the way melee works is still part of the old iteration of the game. But it's still fun for me, but it needs a lot of work. Like the life siphoning things, those dudes, the shroud walkers, it's just like TP on you and the fucking that your health just like gone. Like how are you supposed to stand there and fight that in one of those? You gotta stand there and fight him in a black cloud like while he's got like life siphoning on it, and you already can't get enough life to where you just like feel scared from white mobs, and you got to try to fight something like that. So it's just parts of the melee mechanics seem like it's just left behind a little bit, and it's all part of early access, I'm sure.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I remember when I was playing my Smithic Otava in 0.2, you would get like some rare monsters that were just like the most like tragic combinations of modifiers. Like it would be like temporal bubble, volatile plants. It's regenning HP super quickly, and I'm using like perfect strike. So I have to like stand there
Yeah,
in the bubble and like "Ugh," and then the plants are coming at you, and the plants haven't been nerfed yet, so they do like 5,000 damage each, and you're just like, I can't kill this guy. It is actually impossible to kill this guy. And he has
or
like
like a
chill
cracked out
ground.
boars.
The
Yeah, that
boars.
too. Chill ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's bone caging you too.
Yeah. So it's just like, and then if you're
Yeah.
playing on a dead eye and you have lightning arrow, you're just standing like a screen away, and none of that
Mhm.
matters. None of that matters. The only thing that matters to you is like proximal tangibility, where you actually have to be like within a certain radius to kill the monster. But like other than that, like, I feel like just generally speaking, like there are a lot more modifiers that rares can have that like affect melee so much harder than like range, and that just kind of carries across the board with everything. Trials of Sekimas feels so much worse as a melee character than a range character does. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean?
It's been left behind for sure, but I'm sure it'll change something. They like have to because you need to be like mechanically on point to not die with a mace using armor guy. Like you can't let your guard down if you're in T15 maps at all. You need to be playing the game.
Hmm.
Like you know what I mean? You can't just like pseudo play. And even the pin guy, my pin tactician is so damn strong, dude. He just shits on everything. Nothing can move. It's either pinned or stunned. And then for things that are approximately intangible, you just throw the totem right next to him. You could still be at a distance because the totem breaks that approximately intangible. So like there's a lot of things that work for range and against melee, and yeah, and it's all it all. I think it all comes down to not having enough life to be able to sustain and stand there and tank something in perfect strike. But
Like give us
I don't
more
know.
room for error. Like there has to be a little bit
Yeah.
more room for error. If you're going to be taking more damage, I feel like that's the thing. Like, dude, you know how bad it feels? Like when I was on my gemling and I had like, 10, 15,000 armor and 2,000 life, and I go into the Trials of Sekimas and I have like 2,000 honor, and I'm like, what? Like, how do I have that little
Yeah.
honor? And then I go in there on my fucking invoker with like 10k energy shield, and I have like a million honor because it just scales way better with energy shield. And it's just like, I think once GGG recognizes that like life should count as defenses, um, that would be like a good first baby step. Like, allowing all of these things that are, improved defenses, whether it was like on the amulet with the essences, you can get improved global defenses, or that thing in the second interludes that's like 15% global defenses. Like, it's kind of crazy that none of that scales life at all. And it's just like armor, evasion, energy shield. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because everything for life is like 3%. You have 3% nodes on the tree, and you get what 5% from candle mass or something. Everything, it's just very low percents. Maybe if they just simply up the percents that life can get, that might take care of some of the issues, possibly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is Bailey.
Hello, Bailey. Oh my God, she's so cute. How long have you been a cat owner, my friend?
um, um, 9 years.
Okay.
It was my mom. My mom moved in with me 9 years and brought her.
Yeah.
Um, and then passed. So now I have a cat.
I
She's
love
cool though.
I love cats, man. And I feel like it depends on like
If
the type of cat you have, because some cats can be fucking assholes. But if you have a good cat, like it's a game changer for sure.
No, she's not an asshole. She just constantly tries to show it all the time.
She sees that the camera's on. She's like, "All right, time to go, boys. Let's
Yeah.
go."
Mhm.
That's cool. Did you grow up with cats or dogs or anything like that, or were you kind of
Cats,
animalist?
yeah.
Cats
No,
mostly.
my mom had cats. Yeah, she
Yeah,
was never like home or anything, so a dog's kind of hard to have.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Cats are so nice because they're kind of like less maintenance too. Like my girlfriend has a cat, and like it's cool that like if she wants to come over for the weekend, like leave him with like a bowl of food and some water for like a day or two. Like it's not a big deal. Whereas a dog, like you just can't do that. Like you have to bring your dog everywhere, walk them a couple times a day and stuff. So yeah, it's chill.
Yeah, the dog will eat the whole bowl of food in one sitting. The
Yeah,
cat will like eat when it's hungry.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I want to check in with you, bro. We're at like an hour and a half. How are you doing and how are you feeling?
Easy,
Yeah.
fucking easy, bro. Yeah,
Nice, dude.
easy, dude.
Yeah, I want to say thank you
Yeah.
so much. It's been sick, like having you on,
Mhm.
chopping it up. I have a few more questions.
Yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
100%, dude. Yeah,
I'm a lot more comfortable than I thought I was. I was like, I don't know, dude. I get in my own head over stuff, but I just told myself I've been meeting like millionaire business owners for job interviews, dude. I can talk to a gamer homie,
yeah,
So I'm
100%.
good.
I knew you'd be awesome and on point, and like, yeah, it's exactly what I thought. Like you just been, it's like you said, you have the gift of the gab, and especially when it comes to like the game that we both love and play all the time, like it's easy, bro. It's easy to talk about it. Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
so let's go with this question. This is a big question, Timmy. And I'm gonna ask you right now.
Oh shit.
So,
Okay.
if there is one thing that you'd want to see in 0.4 and nothing else. So let's say 0.4 is one change or one addition or one class or one
Oh
thing.
God.
What is the thing that you would want to see in 0.4?
One thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be a new class because along with that, do we get the weapon? Is a weapon count too
Sure.
if we get a new
The
class?
class and the weapon. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would have to be a new class so everybody had something to something to fuck around with. Because even a new ascendancy wouldn't even cut it. I
Mhm.
don't think. So I'd say a druid with axes or something like that would be pretty cool.
Okay.
I
Druid
think,
with
if I had to
axes.
choose. Yeah,
Sheesh. Okay.
because that'd be an inch strength. It'd be an inch strength side. We get a little loving on that side of the tree too for anybody that wants to use that side of the tree. Little energy armor. I've done energy armor warriors a little bit. There's a couple sections over there, but not the best. There's that 60% energy shield and armor from your chest piece node that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we can get some love into the west side of the tree if they added that. So it's all, yeah, I would say Druid, because along with that should come some passive tree changes and potentially new weapon too. So
Yeah.
that would be my answer.
I love it. Yeah, I think that it needs to be the Druid or the Templar. I feel like either one of those things should fall
Hmm.
within like that area of the tree. And I think you're absolutely right. If the new class comes, passive tree update, more love, maybe some like really monumental changes for all the boys who like to play armor and that like armor and life. So yeah, no, that's a great call, man. Another kind of final question about PoE 2 is just like, how do you see the future of this game? Like, do you think that like this game is going to be insanely massive when like 1.0 comes out? Like, give me sort of like your thoughts about like where do you see the future of this game going?
I mean, it's hard to envision like a game being more modern than it. So I feel like it's going to be around for a long time. I mean, it might be similar to like a Diablo 2 or something that's just almost timeless. And for people like me, I mean, I'll always love the game. I've really not much fondness for PoE 1. So I think but as far as like it's like popping off, and I mean, yeah, because when the game becomes free to play, there's a lot of people out there that $30 is a lot of money. I'm not too far removed from $30 being a lot of money to me. So, and especially when you're talking about like, Asia, there's so many people over there. Like there's what, 3 billion people on that side of the world. Like that's a lot of people that are more likely to play a game that's free. So I know China in particular has its own servers, but I don't think all the other countries do.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of people that $30 is a lot of money. So I think the game's only going to grow, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree, man. And it's
Mhm.
kind of crazy. Like I've had so much fun out of a $30 game. And I can't stress enough and glaze how good of value that $30 is for myself. Like the fact that you get like not only the game, which I've sunk like, well over 1,000 hours into, but also like microtransaction currency to cover the cost of the game as well. It's just
Yeah.
insane value, man. And like that value like will translate even more when like the game is just straight up free to play, dude. Like I honestly think that when the game drops, barring any like major fuck ups by GGG, like it's gonna be bonkers, like how many people play it.
Well, well, think about the biggest game that's been in the last what decade or whatever, Fortnite. Like, do you think that would have been as big as it was if it wasn't free? I don't. If it was $30, I don't think it was. I don't think so. Even the part of the game that wasn't free, the whatever the hell it was, where you're like it's like a tower defense kind of thing, that never took off at all. And I don't know. It probably had to do with it not being free, but I think it was also like dog shit. But so just free games, man. I mean, CS:GO, isn't that free? It's one of the biggest games. Free, just getting that free in a game of this quality being free, like, dude, it's gonna pop off for sure. I was kind of surprised point three didn't pop off any more than it did, but I think what we had 300,000 on Steam or something. It's not bad, but yeah, I don't know.
I think it was an
I
improvement
figured
from
it.
Dawn of the Hunt, though, and I think that that's like important to
Yeah.
recognize. Is like as long as like I think what Jonathan's always said was the launch of the game like 1.0 or 0.1 is always going to be like a huge thing, like, and then Dawn of the Hunt was a bit rocky, so a lot of people didn't play that. But I think that like if we can see sort of like an upward trajectory, like 0.4 goes harder than 0.3 and so on and so forth, like I think it's pretty safe to say that 1.0 is just going to be huge. And I think you're absolutely right, man. Like the accessibility of free games can't be understated. Like, did you ever play RuneScape as a kid?
No,
Okay.
no,
So
I
RuneScape
didn't.
was like a free MMORPG that could be played on a browser. So you didn't actually need to have like a disc to play the game. You could play it like at school, in the library. You could play it like, wherever there was a computer.
Okay.
You could just get on the game and play it. And that's why that game popped the fuck off so hard. It was like it was free, and the accessibility of it was like any computer could play this game. And I think that like those two things just combined made it like one of the most powerful MMO RPGs ever. Like even to this day, people are still playing it, which is super cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the old school
Yeah,
RuneScape.
dude.
People love that shit.
They do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably the graphics turned me off of it, man. Or like, I'm like I said, man, I mentioned earlier, I'm more of a visuals guy. That game is, I'm not into that at all. I see people just AFK farming, like mining for like 70 hours and shit. That ain't for me.
Yeah, no, it's one of those games that, like, you're playing it, but you're not. I mean, there's varying degrees of like engagement in video games, right? Where like, I think Path of Exile 2 falls kind of more on like the you have to be like engaged in playing the game. You have to actually like lock in sometimes and play. In RuneScape,
That's for sure.
you don't have to do that much. There are certain situations like they have this area back in the day. I don't know if they still have this called the wilderness, where if you go in the wilderness, you can get attacked by people, and if you die you lose all your shit. So like there's like a PvP area in the game, and when you go into that area you got to be like on your fucking toes. But then there's also like, a large part of the game where you're just chopping down trees all day every day and watching your like XP go up
Oh
for like,
God.
yeah, and like that's, again, it's another thing like, PoE we talked about, where it's like the more ways you can enjoy the game, the better. You can like, in RuneScape PvP all day if you want. You can be a fucking blacksmith if you want to, and like everything in between. Like,
True.
that's why it's such a widely regarded game, and it's free, and you can play it on a fucking potato. So yeah,
You play it in the background while you're mapping and shit.
you literally can. Yeah.
I think I saw or heard DM saying that. He's like, I'm not addicted to games. He's like, it's not like I'm over here streaming playing Path of Exile 2 while old school RuneScape's in the background firing. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, people did that on Tarkov. They'd be like, how on Tarkov it takes so long to get
Yeah.
into a raid sometimes. People would have RuneScape open and they would swap to that, and like while they're getting into raids and stuff. It's just one of those games that like
Mm,
you can kind of have that, like, I don't know, watch number go up, dopamine hit, feels good kind of game, but it's very, very chill. Very chill.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Drake. He was playing Path of Exile while he was loading into a Tarkov raid, and he drops Rockiata's flow and sends the clip to Major. That
That's
shit's hilarious.
crazy.
My computer would catch on fire doing that, playing PoE while I'm loading in a Tarkov raid.
Yeah.
That shit would burst into flames.
Drake was telling me when he was on the podcast that he like specifically built like a beast computer just to play Tarkov. Like,
Mm,
just, Streets of Tarkov is such a sick fucking map, but it like destroys my computer, and my computer's pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to play the game though. We should
yeah,
do
it's
some. We
rough.
should do some like co-op. Like if we do a raid together on Tarkov, that'd be sick. When like this winter, some Christmas gaming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, get myself a new computer. I'll be playing some Tarkov, that's for sure. I
Hell,
have
hell
like
yeah.
3,500 hours on that game. I played the shit out of it.
Damn, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, I
Okay,
already got three on PoE.
3,000 on PoE as
Two.
well. Holy, since like December as well. That's pretty impressive, man. That just shows your passion for these games, though. Like, and again, like, Tarkov is a game that you can sink a ton of time into. Same with PoE, and like Tarkov kind of does the same thing where it's like they do these updates every like couple months that kind of brings people back in, and I think that that's also just such an important thing these days to keep people like engaged in the game.
Yeah, and I don't think it really turns very many people off. Like a wipe, you sit out for a couple wipes or a couple leagues and then come back to it. That's how the game that's how games are meant to be played. This everybody's looking for their forever game, and I don't know if that exists.
My forever game definitely like fits within the PoE. Like, here's the thing. Let's say every other game gets deleted forever and you have to pick one game. I would probably pick PoE 2 or Tarkov because as long as they have that like update cycle. Like it's not going to be like the base game forever, but if they have the cadence of like updates and stuff, like that could be a
Right.
forever game for sure.
I definitely choose PoE over Tarkov at this point in my life. I got PTSD from that game, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you. All right, so just a couple of closing questions. So I wanted to ask you, this is sort of like a big question, but I wanted to ask you, like, how have video games impacted your life, and what do games mean to you, man?
Um, it's really the only thing that I actually enjoy doing. That might sound sad, but yeah, I'm not really much into anything else. When I was younger, I played sports, I wrestled, I did a little bit of martial arts, but at night I was always playing games. And I live in Ohio where the weather's shitty most of the time. You just play games, and games have always been my relaxation, my outlet, my escape from reality at times, for better or worse, And I'll admit, games have definitely contributed to probably being overweight and not being like active enough. Probably and at times neglected like real life responsibilities and stuff like that. Games have gotten in the way. When you're a thousands of hours type gamer, that shit tends to happen. Not everybody might acknowledge it, but yeah, that shit tends to happen. So, but games have definitely been 99% positive in my life. I think it helps you maintain like a fresh mind and maybe just simple like puzzle solving and just you don't always realize how much benefits you get from games until you put yourself in certain environments and I think just problem solving and just learning and being able to read through things and it all attributes to being just an overall general better learner, I think, so I would say there's some positives and there's some negatives that go along with it. I may have an addictive personality,
Me too,
which might,
bro. Me too. Yeah.
contribute to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, when I stream and I'm live for 15 or 20 hours, people are like, Jesus Christ, dude, like you need to go to bed. Like, aren't you tired? Like, you don't need to stream like this. I'm like, well, I just like playing games, whether I'm live or not. That's what I was doing. I mean, I have plenty of friends that can vouch for my amount of time that I play games. That's just what I enjoy doing, and streaming is probably the second favorite thing that I like doing. They kind of go hand in hand, luckily.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, gaming has just been a massive time sink for my entire life, but I wouldn't change anything. I don't want to do it. It's just what I enjoy doing, man. And my family thinks it's probably kind of weird and stuff, but I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, I think that, coming from sort of our generation, it is hard for people like our parents or our family that's a bit older, like just to like understand like the ecosystem of streaming. Like, my mom always is like, people just watch you play video games for like hours on end. Like, why do they do that? And it's hard for me to get her to understand that, like, it's a space that people just feel comfortable in. They can like hang out, they can socialize, they can be entertained, they can laugh, they can do all these things. And it's like that all comes from just like playing video games on the internet, which is it's pretty special, man. It's a pretty special place.
Yeah, it's just like-minded. It's a place for like-minded people to meet each other, really.
Hmm.
Shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, I hear you, man. And like,
Cat got hair.
yeah, dude, I know about cat here. Every time I go to the lady's house, it's like, holy. Yeah. But dude, I think for me, like one of my favorite things about gaming is just like the social aspect, the community aspect. I love like being able to have these conversations. Like we would have never met and had this awesome conversation today if it wasn't just for like gaming and playing a game together. And it's gotten me in connection with so many cool fucking people, man. And like especially
I agree.
lately with like the PoE2 community, and like PoE community, it's just been like accelerated that like holy shit, like there's so many awesome friends that I've made and people that I know now, and just like it's another W for games, like that whole like connection, social connection, and making new friends. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't met a streamer through like our little circle that I haven't liked. Like everybody just seems super cool. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, it's been a blast streaming and playing Path of Exile too. I wouldn't take it back. No way. Rainbow Six had its moments, but that's more stressful, dude. I'd rather fight an arbiter or something in hardcore any day over playing some ranked Rainbow Six on stream, bro. You get judged so hard, dude. You whiff a shot or something.
Yeah, dude, it's just that it's like kind of what we talked about at the beginning. Like it's just a different environment, a different game, a different community of people, and yeah, a little bit the toxicity levels are higher, I think, in those situations too, a little bit.
Yeah,
Um
for sure. The whole game's built around cucking someone,
yeah. 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 So final question, something I like to ask everybody, especially my content creator friends. If you were talking to somebody and they told you, I'm looking to start streaming, what information or tips would you give them to help guide them on their streaming journey?
um, try to have a schedule. I know mine's kind of all over the place, but try to have a schedule and get your quality there before, like, the quality needs to be there. Your audio, you go back and watch your own content. Listen to it with a phone, watch it with desktop speakers, watch it with a headset, watch it with earbuds, like watch it with different audio sources to listen to it. Cause um if it sounds like shit, looks like shit, the one person that might stop by probably isn't going to stick around. They might not say hi because they're going to feel awkward just leaving after saying hi. So I would say schedule, you got to push the button, like Zen just said. Like, you have to do it to do it, and then just quality, and then from there, just be yourself, and don't think you're going to make any money. Just for real, like don't do it for that reason. Do it because you want to do it. You want to have footage of your gameplay. You want to meet new people. Do it for those reasons. If you do it for monetary gain, uh, people will probably realize it. And so I would just say be yourself and try to network, hang out with other people, support those who support you, and have good quality.
I love that. And yeah, quality is something that kind of comes over time. I think that a lot of people are very like hyper aware of it to the point where they think that they shouldn't stream unless they don't have a Shure SM7B and a fucking 4K webcam and stuff like that. Like, you don't need that level of quality, guys. Like, a decent microphone on Amazon and a decent webcam will work wonders for you. And then if you end up getting some subscribers or some, people on YouTube that are like supporting you, then you can kind of reinvest that money into like really good stuff. But you don't need to have like the top tier gear to get going.
Yeah, and don't get crazy with the overlays either, man. I see these people, like, their screens like this big because they got this big frame. I just knocked shit off my desk. Big frame and a frame for their camera box, and fucking their follow alert takes up the whole screen and it's loud as fuck. Like, it's just keep it clean and concise, and your follow alert should be short and sweet. Like, your follow alert shouldn't really be anything but yeah, if anything, make it nothing. Like, because if you get rated and you get like 30 followers in a row, it's going to be long. It's going to be really shitty if you have like a long, obnoxious follow alert. So I would say keep your stream clean, man. And like, you got to have something going for you. You got to have a camera or at least a good quality and a good quality mic. Because I mean, you could go down to the bottom of the directory right now, and there's probably 1,000 streamers with no camera and shitty audio quality, where their game's way too loud. You can't even hear them if they were to say hi. You know. So yeah, definitely watch your own content back and make sure it's not like that. I would say.
For
But you
sure.
got to have something. Like, you can't just, like, if you want to do something with your stream, if you want to just throw out a random stream every now and then so your buddy can watch it or whatever, that's fine. You don't need to try to be a streamer. But if you want to be a streamer, you need to try to be a streamer. You know what I mean? Like, you need to take a lot of things into consideration for sure.
Yeah, I
Audio
love that.
greater than video. Yeah.
No, I think what you said right there about like, having somebody just like kind of pop in and asking them while you're live, like, yo, what does this sound like? Is like my music too loud? Is my gameplay too loud? And like, we're lucky that we have like
Mhm.
Twitch chat to help like tailor our like experience for them. But yeah, if you don't have that, guys, just like get your friend or whoever, get your mom to watch your stream and be like, does this sound good? Does it sound bad? And yeah, they can help you guide you on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do audio only quite often while I'm at work. I'll just, like, I call it like podcasting the streams. So I definitely tend to hang out in streams with better audio in those instances.
True.
I
That
can't be
actually
the
is
only
fair.
person doing that.
Yeah, 100%. When you're listening to like streams or watching streams, half the time you're only listening anyway because like it's on a second monitor. You're playing a game while that stream is open. You're not actually physically like watching it half the time. So I do agree with Zen. Like, the audio is so important. Like, if you're going to invest in anything, get a good microphone because that just makes such a difference in terms of like the
And
viewing pleasure.
balancing too. Like, you need to hear you need to hear you talk. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry to cut you off, Blaze.
Oh
My
no,
bad.
you're good, man. 100%. Balancing is good.
I'm
Uh,
trying not to.
You're all good, brother. Well, dude, I want to just say thank you so much. It's been an absolute
Of
pleasure
course.
having you on the
Mhm.
podcast today. At this point in time, I would just love to get you to shut yourself out. Where can we find you, and what are you going to be playing or working on in the future?
Timmy underscore P on Twitch. That's about it. Just playing Path of Exile 2. I got 3 characters in hardcore in the private league right now. 84 Invoker, 82 Titan, 89 Tactician. So I'm just gonna be grinding them.
Hell
Keep
yeah.
grinding them.
I will leave a link to Timmy's Twitch, as always, in the video description. Also, the private league is happening still, so there will be a sign up link in the description of this video as well. If you're keen on hopping into some hardcore or you haven't tried it before, Timmy's League, as we mentioned in the podcast, is an awesome place to do it. Yeah, so thank you so much, bro. You are awesome, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all. All right, everybody, that wraps it up for this episode of the Passive Tree Podcast. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe for more PoE2 content. I have a bunch more episodes of the podcast lined up with some really great guests, so keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're interested in supporting the podcast and the channel, consider supporting through Patreon. There's a link in the video description. A special shout out to Kevin F. for supporting this channel. I appreciate you. Thank you. And until next time, happy blasting, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.